Hey guys, Colbert here. Welcome to another Racial Legends video. Guys, this won't be a showcase for Mordecai, one of the epics needed for the Broken Infusion. I'm currently on the not cold brew account, so my test server account that I have. The player gave me 2.8 million gems. It's quite good, if you ask me, but it's a test server account. So let's go over Mordecai. I think he's one of the better epics, brought in this fusion, and the reason is he's going to be very helpful for new players stuck on Spider, and I'm one of those examples for my free brew account, my free to play account that if you guys know, I am playing for more than 100 days now as free to play on a separate account, and that one has a trouble with the Spider. This champion will give you that solution. Let's go over his skills first, and then we'll come back to the gearing, and we'll have geared him this way. So his A1 basically reduces the turn meter of the target at a 30% chance, 60% if the target has an HP burn. This champion does apply HP burns. We'll go through that in a bit. It goes 60% plus 15% if you book it out, 75% plus 5 from Masteries. We'll look at them in a bit. Times Undoing is his A2, 100% chance to decrease the turn meters of all enemies by 15%, fills the turn meter by 15%, 3 turn cooldown when booked. So again, a nice well, the books are really valuable on this champion, I would say, compared to many other of the epics that we have. We don't see real value until we fully book them out. But this guy seems that every single book really improves his value because he can get a 100% chance to actually decrease the turn meter, and then his A3 goes to 100% chance as well. Let's go over that now. 100% chance to place an HP burn, debuff on all enemies for 2 turns, place a 50% increased attack buff on all allies for 3 turns. This is great, honestly. 4 turns cooldown. It's a bit long, but it's okay. I mean, it's an HP burn. 4 turns cooldown, 100% chance on everybody. He's going to be weak affinity on stage 20, but remember, guys, we're also going to be having in the near future, I don't know, in the future, we're going to have level 25 Spider's Den, so he's not going to be weak affinity to that one, or maybe throughout all the remaining stages. So definitely do get Mordecai if you're thinking about it. His aura is an increase all ally accuracy in battles by 40, so definite improvement there if you're having issues with accuracy. So coming back to the gear, the way that I built him is just to get over 200 accuracy. You don't really need to go over 200 since he does have that lead, but 200 plus his aura plus masteries makes it an easy way for you to not get resisted at a very high chance. There's always a small chance to get resisted, but that's like 2%. So the way I geared him is accuracy, but because he is usually going to be tanking the small spiderlings, other sets that you can go with Mordecai are, of course, resistance sets are great because he can actually resist those really bad poisons that the spiderlings apply to Mordecai. And then you can also equip him with the lifesteal set if you really want those War Master procs to get you some big numbers in terms of healing. The HP burns will not give you health back. Just remember that. Regeneration sets are also good. Relentless sets, I wouldn't really go for. Relentless doesn't give too much to this champion. But then again, immortal sets are also great, acquired from the clan boss, and many players have them in a great abundance, and you can actually equip him with those. Each time he takes a turn, he's going to heal back a little bit and be able to last a little bit longer. So finally, Masteries. I gave him War Master and then went for Master Hexer and Sniper. I think these are the best Masteries for him. Maybe some of the supporting tree Masteries could be changed to something else. Let's say, for example, Whirlwind of Death can be used on this guy so he can gain 18 speed when he does get 3 kills. 3 kills on the small spiderlings instead of the lifesteal. Maybe you want to go Lower of Steel, but I didn't go Lower of Steel because I want to try him out for another build for maybe a future video, which needs him to not have Lower of Steel. If I did have that, the accuracy sets would have given me a little bit more accuracy, which I don't really need. Again, because of his lead, gives him 40 plus the gear that he has. He has way like 270 right now, and that's more than enough for Spider 20. I even have some gear equipped. I could have used accuracy banner right here, but that's not needed because he's more than enough there, and he has like a primary stat on defense there and critical rate there because I just wanted to see a little bit how much damage he could do when he does crit. I was testing it out before starting this video. So let's go and I'll show you why he's so good in the spiders. Then I'm gonna go with a very basic team that everybody has. I'm not gonna say everybody has 2 armigers, but everybody has an apothecary, at least 1 armiger. I want to hope that every one of you guys has at least 1 armiger, And then Sal of the Drakes, day 180 reward, the most amazing champion out there. I know that this team, look at that. Look at that HP burn, the sweet HP burn on almost all Spiderlings. Like, what are the odds? Okay, so here, if I did have a little bit more health, a little bit more resistance, I would have resisted all those poisons, which do a ton of damage. But remember, Mordecai gives a ton of turn to his team, helps out Apothecary get an extra turn. Sal of the Drakes, whenever she gets a turn, she heals him. Apothecary has a big heal. He can actually boost that Mordecai's health. Mordecai also reduces the turn meter of the big spider. So all in all, we'll establish control the big spider while the two armigers take him down, take the big spider down with the max HP, reduce the turn meter, and then the HP burns also do a ton of damage to the spider. Look at this run, like a minute, and even if Mordecai dies, we've got Sal of the Drakes to bring him back, and it should be next turn. No, she didn't go for the heal. That's weird. For the res, that's weird. She'll res him right now. There we go. There's the res, and all the Spiderlings will change aggro to him because he is weak affinity versus spirit. We need to reduce now the turn meter a little bit of the big spider. There's that Armiger with the relentless relentless clutch. Okay. We need an HP burn again. There it is. Okay, now the HP burn, the remaining HP burn is going to be enough to take down the spider under 2 minutes round. And this is what I'm hoping to do on my free brew account to take down the spider. The problem with my free brew account is not having Armigers. I already have 2 Armigers even on my free to play. But the problem is taking down stage 18, where Armigers are weak affinity, and this is magic. So Mordecai will actually be strong affinity. But using Paragon, you can actually cheese that out, go to 19, cheese that out as well, and then finally reach 20 and beat that one with maybe another proper strategy. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Mordecai is definitely a solid champion, but let's go and look at what he can do in some other areas. I want to say Dragon's Lair is another area where you can use him. The HP burn isn't a 4-turn cooldown, but it does help in beating down the waves. I'm just gonna switch out around this team. Just gonna put these 3 very essential champions in there. Let's say put Grush in there, who is day is he day 160 or no? It's 180 is Sal the Drake, so 150 I think is this guy. Or maybe more. Anyway, I must have forgotten. And then let's put somebody else in there. I want a few more poisons in there to make this run a little bit faster, because this run will be a little bit slow with all these champions in there. Okay, I just put in there Faraki in the Fat, just whatever kind of team. Let's just go in there and see how useful Mordecai can be here. Ideally, I mean, you can use him in the lead, but Apothecary has a great lead as well for dungeons. Look at Sal of the Drake with all those stunts. We should have an HP burn going on everybody. Look at that. You're going to see the health just dropping because of that HP burn. So how HP burn works, if you guys didn't know already, as an AoE skill, when you do apply it on everybody, whenever they do take a turn, they damage all their allies as well by 3% of their max health. So that's why this is so good for the big spider in the spider dungeon, because the spider has 10 small spiderlings. If every one of those has an HP burn on them, then that's 3% every time each and every single one of the spiderlings takes a turn. That damage is dealt to all the spiderlings plus the big spider. So this works also in the dungeons, but because it's only 5 targets compared to 10 targets in the spider's den, then in the spider's den is where you really see the difference. You know, the damage dealt on that big spider. So here it goes for a little bit longer. So honestly, it will go longer, and Sal of the Drakes is the big carry here. What Mordecai brings here is just the HP burns, the extra turn meter feel, the control with his A2, because it also decreases the turn meter, and then his A1 when the target already has an HP burn. That's when you have that higher chance to actually reduce turn meter, and this is how it goes. Control with a champion either having a stun set or being Sal of the Drakes that has a stun inherently in her A2, and then have that HP burn. Works so good. It should work so good as well with something like a Torment, but I didn't want to showcase that because Torment is obviously a champion that not many players will have. He was a fusion in 2019, I want to say, Christmas 2019, and since then he's been wrecking arena and causing us all headaches. So really solid way to do some damage and have control. This team is. I mean, I do have 2 healers, well, 3 healers, 1 mass attack, and then HP burn, Terminator field. Look at that, double boost in Terminator. Right, so now we are at the Dragon Lab, like 3 minutes run. I know it's not that fast, but the real showcase is the utility that that this guy brings. Honestly, he's a very good champion for the spider. I wouldn't say that I would use him over any other champion that I do have for any of the other dungeons, but then again, usually the spider is where everybody has an issue, spider and fire knight, and then the easier ones are ice golems and dragon 20. So yeah, the HP burns are doing good damage on the big dragon, but not as much as poison. So maybe even a poison set would have been cool with this guy. Maybe even a poison set would have been good. But I mean, it's only for this one, for the dragon. It wouldn't work that well in spider because the big spider never takes a turn. So poisons don't work the same way as HP burns, and only one HP burn can be on a target at the same time, unless maybe we get a champion in the future that does help apply all those. So getting a ton of those War Master procs here on the big dragon, those really help taking him down. Get some Terminator boost here, and I'm giving it another 20 seconds for the dragon to go down. Definitely Mordecai is a champion for you guys to consider. I'll be taking him to 50 on my free-to-play account just so I can progress through, and then Brogni might be something that I'll need to sacrifice Mordecai for. Mordecai is a champion. It's an epic. You can acquire him from shards. So eventually you might be lucky enough to pick a copy of him, unless you desperately need to have a champion that does apply HP ban. Definitely a solid champion. I would even go, look at that. I would even consider going Affinity Breaker set on him if you're really having issues with the spider and seeing that you're not going anywhere. So Affinity Breaker, 20% chance to change a weak hit into a critical hit. So the weak hit has a 35% chance to happen. If you give him an Affinity Breaker set, then when that 35% chance actually procs, then there's another 20% chance for you to not do an actual weak hit. That's how it works, if I understood correctly, and it doesn't reduce that 35% to 15% instead. So this was the Mordecai showcase, guys. What do you think yourselves about Mordecai? Will you be using him for the spider? Leave it down below. Did you just get him? Then definitely go in the spider and you'll enjoy using him. This guy definitely looks cool. They did some nice work on him. They definitely burned his hands, so he wasn't really an expert in the beginning, I would say, in dealing with fire. So thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, guys. I'll see you in the next one. See ya.